Cosmos with Bailey. I'm Bailey and I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium and spiritual healer based in New Zealand. Welcome. So today's video is going to be on discerning energy and frequency. So this is something that I don't think is talked about a lot, and it is something that is incredibly beneficial for everyday life, for the everyday world. For business, for life, for anything, but predominantly it is absolutely amazing for business. If you have that ability to discern frequency and energy, and say if you are a business owner, or you're out in the public figure, or you run your own YouTube channel, whatever it is, the ability, or you have a lot of options come to you all the time. Or people are aware that you are maybe a little high up, or people are aware that maybe you have a lot to offer. And because the collective consciousness is still sort of oscillating at this victim perpetrator, but we're sort of moving out of it. When someone has cultivated a high frequency of energy, or is very abundant, is very positive, has got a lot going on in their lives, it's very normal and natural for other people to sort of, people call it like a moth to the flame, but it's like to gyrate or just be attracted to that person and what they're doing, but it's not from a place of, oh, I wonder how that person is. And sometimes when someone has a lot of light, or they are very popular, or they're very positive and able and sort of has that Midas touch, or they're just very good at what they do, it is very normal for people to not see you as a person. They're just attracted to your energy and what it's offering. And so I found so discerning energy and frequency is really, really important. And it's important for spiritual maturity, and it's important because people do have free will, and there's many, many different realms of how life was expressed in the earthly realm. So as soon as you understand discernment with energy and frequency, you're going to be able to better pick things suited to your natural frequency, and you're not going to go into things that are oscillating in a lower frequency. When I say lower, it's not bad. It just means that they're not at a place where they have cultivated high amounts of life force, joy, positivity, creativity, business, whatever it is in their lives. And when someone hasn't cultivated high amounts of life force, that's when you get leechy behavior, and people seeing sort of like, what can I take from this person? I need to take that idea, and it's when you sort of get copycats, and you draw a lot of people towards you that may necessarily aren't the best energy for you. And so if you don't have that discernment and boundaries with energy and life force, you're going to keep finding yourself in the same frequency of energy and not be able to get out of it, or not wonder why you can't find the right feminine energy you want, or whatever is going on, or why do I keep drawing the same business contract? Could be past lives, I don't know. But you also have to look at, when it comes to discerning frequency and energy, what you're playing in that role of with that person's energy, and what you're allowing. And okay, so when it comes to discerning energy, it is sort of like a rite of passage into, I would say, more spiritual maturity and more spiritual groundedness and common sense, and seeing things realistically in the earthly realm, being realistic with where other people are at and where you're at, and not expecting other people to change. You can't change someone anyway, but like seeing someone's frequency and where they're at, and seeing it from a very, very realistic point of view, like as they are in front of you. This stops disappointment. This is you being realistic, you're being common sense, and you can say, okay, I see you're at that, but it doesn't mean I need to be a part of that. And it's not us against them. It's more like, okay, you're not for me. So it comes from a place of grace and poise and maturity. So say, for example, if someone came up to you, say you are successful at something, and someone came up to you and offered you a business proposition, or maybe say you are a man about town, or you're a woman about town, and people know you for certain things. And if someone comes up and offers you something, and you don't have discernment, and you say yes to it, you could be taking yourself down into a contract or a business agreement that is not directly beneficial to you. It's beneficial to that person. And also when you lack discernment with opportunities or people offering you stuff, you're not going to be able to foresee or feel into the energy of that proposition or offering and see if it's actually beneficial long term. And the more clean and clear your aura is, and the more clear your chakras are, and the more, but specifically your aura, because if your aura is full of gunk or entities or whatever's going on in that aura, you're gonna see and view everything through the lens of energy in your aura. And so if someone comes up to you and they're like a snake in the grass, your auric energies you're going to view if you're a cloud, and you're not going to see that person for what they are. You're going to see them through the lens and the filtering of the auric energy. And this is why after a certain point of working with life force and the chakras and whatnot, you get to this point, and it's happened for me, where my auric energy and my life force is so clear that when someone comes up and says something to me, I can feel it immediately if that frequency or energy is right for me. And it's something that you hone over time. And like, what's that person's intentions? And it's not coming from, fear. It's like, okay, I've got my discernment and my energy's picking up. This isn't the contract for me. This opportunity isn't for me. And if you don't have discernment and maturity, you're just going to go off and say yes to everything. And it's not going to be for your highest benefit. And say, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to really stop and ask yourself, is this worth it for me? And when you have integrity and self-respect as well, mixed with high levels of spiritual discernment, you're better able to hone and pick the opportunities and the energies and the people around you that where there are beneficial, energetic transactions, per se. So, when your aura gets really clear, you can feel people's frequencies really, really easily. And for me, a big mark of when someone is not right for me and they should not be in my life whatsoever, I should just walk away, is if I start to feel really, really annoyed and irritated. It doesn't mean that that person is bad. It doesn't mean that that person is XYZ. It just is this feeling in my auric energy and my auric boundary is letting me know this frequency is, and it's like, it feels like this scraping against two very different energies for me. And I start feeling like, I start getting these feelings within my spirit, like, can you just leave me the hell alone? And that's my spirit being like, this person isn't for you. And it is clear and it is concise, and I can make that discernment and that choice very, very quickly without getting involved in dramas or unnecessary contracts, or getting engaged into like a grouping of people that is just not for me, because working with the auric energies in this way, if you say yes to one person, then what is their friendship group like? Then what is their business contracts like? Then how is they conducting the energy in the earthly realm? And if you say yes and go into something, all that energy is going to come back into your life. And so that's why I'm a stickler for boundaries and discernment with energy. Like a stickler. Because it's so important to be able to discern frequency and if it's right for you or not. I've also seen where if you're super positive and onto it and doing really good things, someone who's in a lot of negativity is going to feel really, really uncomfortable around you, and a lot of stuff is going to come up, and they're probably just going onto you or whatever it is, and that's a sign that frequency isn't for you and that person isn't for you. I do not like sometimes it's literally just a difference in frequency and that person just isn't for you. And if you do feel annoyed and irritated by someone, the frequency probably just isn't for you. You're looking for someone who's probably more open and whatnot. And so, now what else do I need to say about discernment, energies, and whatnot? Life, when you do get high levels of discernment, obviously your inner circle is going to be small, but you also get a lot more energetic space to feel into what it is that you're wanting to do in your life and what your spirit is feeling, what your intuition is feeling. I'm also just going to talk a little bit of the difference between the masculine intuition and the feminine intuition and discernment. So for me and what I see, I think women could benefit greatly from more boundaries and discernment with their feminine energy and life force, and their creative energies and where they're flowing it and what they're creating in the earthly realm. And it's like that higher caliber. Like if you want to step out of messy energy and into more clean, concise spiritual energies and create better things, you need to get discernment and boundaries with your life force and your energy and discern frequencies, because people do have free will, and people are choosing to align with things every single day, even if they're not vastly aware of it. So masculine intuition, discernment, men's intuition and men's discernment, from what I've seen with a lot of men, they're very common sense and practical. And when the masculine energy is grounded in practical and common sense, they are able to read energy in a very practical manner. And it's very different to how the feminine would read energy or work with intuition. And men's intuition is very, very matter of fact. And men like to get straight to the point and see things for what they are, and that is their intuition. It's amazing, and I think that women could learn a lot from men's intuition. Because sometimes what happens with us women is that we try to paint things in a way that we understand that person's like that, but it's not benefiting us. And that's been the biggest thing for me, is honing my discernment and boundaries, especially with other females. Okay, I can see you're in trauma, you're feeling triggered by me. Okay, XYZ, okay, then maybe I shouldn't be talking to you. I don't want to get involved in your friendship group. I don't want to do this with you. No. It's almost like, I think when you evolve more into your spiritual maturity, you understand that you do not need to be seen as the nice person all the time. It's just a fact of life that there are different frequencies and energies, and it is up to you here in the earthly realm to decide what you're playing with when it comes to energy and whatnot. And it's moving into that higher octave of life force energy and creating things in the earthly realm with boundaries and discernment, and discerning people's energies and taking accountability and responsibility for what you're saying yes and no to. And really, when you move into high levels of discernment, your life, it's almost like you take full accountability and responsibility for your life, because no one else is making choices for you. And a lot of people don't really want to see the vast potential of, and a lot of people want other people to make decisions for them. A lot of people want to tell them how life is. And when you move into high levels of discernment, it's really on you to decide what you're saying yes and no to and what you're creating in your life. A lot of people don't want that power, or they don't want that self-responsibility, but because people, it just is a fact, really. Like all the way down to your diet and whatnot, your life force and what you're eating, and does it feel good in the body? And so discerning frequency is really amazing, because if you're like at that point where you're starting to discern energy, it can be quite fun, but also you've got to play with energy in the real everyday world. And you've got to be, okay, and you maybe will have some experiences where it's like, okay, I felt that person's energy. It's about trusting that initial feeling that your auric energy is picking up. You might have some experiences where you're like, okay, that female was obviously after something else that I wasn't aware of, and I now see it after maybe going to dinner with her or something. And so you begin to hone and listen to that discerning intuition through experiences. in the earthly realm, and it is discerning frequency as well. Especially men and females, there are different realms to how the feminine expresses. Some women have little to no connection to the feminine, divine feminine energy. Some women are on their way to cultivating it. And I do think, now what else was I about to say there? Discerning energy and frequency. Yeah. And it's almost like creating the structure and the, what was I going to say? Like the, once you get high levels of discernment like that, and you're really self-trusting on what you're picking up, you're able to move, I want to say, into the higher octave of life force energy, where things are much more of a higher caliber in the earthly realm. You're not playing in the kiddie pool anymore, and you're able to sort of pick up, okay, I don't want to eat at that restaurant because XYZ, or I don't want to go to that party. That doesn't feel good for me. And then you're able to discern where the good energy and the good people are for you. And it's very empowering. And you're in the driver's seat. And you're choosing what you're doing with your energy. And so when people feel like they don't have control over their lives or whatever, they're probably not really honing in on levels of discernment and life force and frequency and what's working for them and what's not. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you need to cleanse your energies, the Life Force Chakra Clearing Meditation is in my Etsy shop. That one is really amazing to get to know your aura. If you want to get to know more about your aura and boundaries and discernment, you can book a Spirit World session. Or alternately, many services over on my Instagram at the moment. But yeah, it's very interesting and it can be very empowering to have these experiences. I do feel like you have to wait till you're a bit older and past your 30s to start working with spiritual discernment, just because you're more grounded in your spirit, you're more mature, you've had some life experiences and whatnot, and you're able to just really hone in and feel into the frequency and energy. And this is the thing, because people can dress up, like it's like real estate agents. They can put on the nice outfit and say all the right things, but do they actually have the business skills and know how to be doing that job? So that's discerning frequency. Just because something looks a certain way, it doesn't mean it is what it is, and it is very empowering. And you can really learn to read people's energy from a place of grace and empowerment without going into judgment and whatnot. But usually I found if I feel strong levels of annoyance and I don't like this person, I will know immediately that this person's energy isn't for me and they shouldn't be in my life. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that was helpful.